smells in this house, Jennifer. It is rank, and it is musty, and it is accosting my being with a foulness that I am a failure to recognize, but not a failure to detect. The sewage is draining, Jennifer. The pipes are as clean as a whistle, but yet there is an odor. The unmistakable smell of decay, and I am helpless against its agonizing, unrelenting stench. Would you have any spark of remembrance as to what could be causing this most unfortunate aroma?
Well, it could be the mice. Or, well, perhaps it is the head that I found in the lake.
A head, you say?
Yes, at the edge. Like a special sort of fishing bobber with eyes.
It had just washed up to shore then.
It was so near the shore, but just out of reach. I had to put on the tall boots and wade in after it. It was very early in the morning last Tuesday, and I got up to hear the birds sing in the sanctuary. I decided to rest by the lake for a spell when I spied, at first, what I thought was a small ball. Then, after closer inspection, realized was the head of a man floating temptingly close to shore. No one was around to see me, so I wrapped my skirt up around my neck and slipped into the water.
Was it attached to something?
My skirt?
No. The head, are you saying it wasn't hooked onto a person?
Like a body? Heavens, no. It was free floating.
Oh my. All the heads I've ever seen have been occupied with bodies. So you brought it back to the house then, eh?
Yes. Then I wrapped it up like a small present and stuck it underneath my bed. It began to leak through its wrapping, so I buried it under the floorboards in the hall closet. You don't mind, do you?
It is creating an awful stink. Don't you suppose that you ought to throw it back?
No, it's my head. I found it.
What if someone is missing it?
Well, then they shouldn't have let it out of their sight. It's mine now. I dug it out of the lake, and I am going to keep it.
Then keep it in the backyard.
But the dogs will get at it.
Put it in the woodshed. The dogs are not allowed in the woodshed.
I'm afraid it will be all lonely, all locked up in the woodshed with no one to talk to. There's nothing to do out there except stare at the wood, and that can only occupy a person for so long.
But dear Jennifer, it isn't a person. It is a head. A head without a body is a non-sentient being. Just because it once had a brain does not mean that it is still thinking.
I have named it. Its name is Mr. Tops. His name is Mr. Tops, and he is my only friend.
Jennifer, I'm your friend.
You're my sister. You have to be my friend. You're not friendly to me of your own volition.
No matter how much truth may lie in that statement, it still does not reflect well upon Mr. Tops.
He sees me as I would like to be seen. Mr. Tops says I am beautiful. He wants to marry me. He says we shall run away together and become man and wife.
He says all of this to you through the floorboards of the hall closet.
We talk most nights. I often unearth him to see how well he is holding up. That is when he whispers to me about our travels across the continent.
And what shall you do then? Carry him around in a little basket?
I thought I might. We shall go to the Riviera and shop in all the fine shops. I will buy myself fabrics and make myself gorgeous new dresses. Mr. Tops says he likes to see me best in blue.
Perhaps you could a little matching hat.
Now you're just making fun of me. I knew you wouldn't understand.
I understand that heads without vocal cords. Heads without corpus. Heads without a life force of their own that have been floating tops up in the shallow end of a very large lake for so long that their bodies have most likely been devoured by swarms of schooling fish. Heads of this sort do not speak to dowdy, unkempt spinsters.
That just goes to show you, doesn't it? That just goes to show you that just because you're 13 months older than me, you think you know so much more about the world. Just because you made it past the 4th grade, you think you're the smartest goose in the gaggle. Well, I tell you now, half of what you know is a lie, and the other half is simply fodder. Not all of us were meant to finish grammar school, you know. Some of us got our education right here in the real world.
Spell cat.
No. You go ahead and spell cat for yourself. You can spell cat, and then after that you can spell my sister thinks I'm a horrible, ugly duck. And then after that you can spell maybe it would do the world a great deal of good if I were to sit in a corner for the remainder of the day and bother no one. Go ahead, Geneva, spell that.
Well, I'm such a horrible person. Get on out of here with Mr. Tops, then. Take your severed head and go.
Spell fine. I forgot Mr. Tops. Well, we're off.
Tell me, Jennifer, before you go, when you and Mr. Tops are married, on which hand will he wear his wedding band?
Don't you worry, Mr. Tops. Don't you worry about a thing. I will not mind if you don't have a wedding band. I shall make it known that you are a groom and I am a bride. Isn't that so?
How will you eat? You and Mr. Tops. I think it's highly unlikely that he would find proper employment with any reputable institution, and I certainly won't be sending any money along with you. You and Mr. Tops can fend for yourselves.
We don't need your money, you wicked witch! I have my own. I am also an heiress to the Derbyshire fortune. I am also wealthy.
But I'm your elder sister, and you're only wealthy if I'm dead.
No.
As of yet, I am still breathing, and you are still my ward. I keep you like a pet.
This does not look so good for us, Mr. Would you greatly mind being kept in the woodshed? Well, at least until you dry out. Oh, I know it won't be the most pleasant of experiences, but I can make you a bed out there. And I promise to come and visit every day. Mr. Tops has said that he wouldn't very much mind being kept in the woodshed.
Oh, does he now? What else does Mr. Tops say?
He says to ask you if, in the future, perhaps after we are married, if he could live inside the house with me.
In the future,
Yes.
after you are married.
Yes.
Oh. I don't see why not.
Oh, Geneva! I'm so happy. You made us both so very
There's
happy.
nothing of it.
I'm going to go make a spot in the woodshed with Mr. Tops right now. Oh, Mr. Tops. Isn't it wonderful? We are to be wed just as soon as you dry out. You will make me such a happy bride. I'm going to be out back with Mr. Tops. Call me for dinner. What time do you think we shall dine?
Dinner is at 8, Mrs. Tops.
Divine!